This 6-pack of water in this store costs 35 euros. We're not in the middle of the desert, we're in the middle of Prague. Where are the prices? This 6-pack of Corona is $57. $57 for a 6-pack of Coronas. I'm not kidding.
Sometimes they just screaming and yelling at us like we are cheap or something like that, but we cannot do anything.
Yeah.
So.
Of course. Wow, got that. Starbucks. Yum. How long it's been expired for? Because it looks expired, right? Looks like shit. There, it's been taped over.
No.
I bought some expensive stuff around, but never this expensive. It's like the most expensive thing I ever bought in Prague is a croissant that's expired. When people travel to touristy destinations like this city is, they try to sometimes avoid high prices. And while doing that, they can sometimes fall into a tourist trap and end up paying even more. So this is a case here in Prague, where some mini markets are actually more expensive than fancy restaurants here on the main square. It's bizarre, and we're gonna show it and explain it to you. Let's go. Let's say this looks like a local beer. Let's see how much it costs, because there's no prices. So I just went to one of the local mini markets and I bought a local Czech beer for 6.2 euros. Yep, this half a liter of beer, 6.2 euros. If you are a Czech viewer right now, you would understand how insane that is. But if you're a foreigner, you're like, okay, I guess 6.2 euros is what a can of beer costs in their country. Well, no, it does not. We moved to a fancy restaurant right here on the main Old Town Square, and we ordered also one beer. Actually, no, we did not order one, we ordered two. And these two beers in this restaurant on the square were still cheaper than this one from the mini market. To be exact, one beer here costs 2.8 euros. How is that possible? I don't know. It's crazy, it's twisted, it's crooked, it's upside down logic. So the punchline here is that if you are going to save money by going to a mini market rather than to a restaurant slash pub, it's not gonna happen. It may not always happen. So instead of like thinking fast, think slow, do some research. That's why you're watching this video and it makes us happy. Cheers. Ironically, this is how you save money in Prague. Not only you're saving money by going to a fancy restaurant, that sounds weird, but it's true. But you're also having a better time than just sipping on a beer from a can. Also, it's fair to point out that we picked one of the most expensive Czech beers there are, but there are even more expensive ones. Like, you know Corona, right? This 6-pack of Corona is $57. $57 for a 6-pack of Coronas. I'm not kidding. So we just went to like make sure how much Corona should cost. So we went to one of the nice Mexican restaurants we go to with Honza here in Prague that we absolutely love. And for that 6-pack, you could easily have a dinner for 4 and each would have a Corona. What? How is that possible? I don't know. Try it for yourself. Let me just clarify this information to be exact. For the price of 6-pack Coronas in that mini market, in this restaurant, you can have 4 full-size meals and only 3 Coronas. So one guest would have to, I guess, sip on water. Still pretty crazy, right? Imagine you're having this stag party in Prague and you're like, hey man, can you grab like 6 packs of Corona? How many should I grab? You know, I grab like 10 of them. Dude, it's gonna be cheaper to fly to Mexico and have the stag party there. Yep. Wow, got that. Starbucks. Yum. Many people gather to watch the astronomical clock, and many of them sip on a coffee. So I wanted to do the same thing. So I bought this cup of Starbucks Cafe Latte for 4.5 euros in a mini market right over there. 4.5 euros. And then I went to this Starbucks on the corner right here, and I told them I want the exact same thing. And they made this, almost the double size in the volume, and it's 0.5 euros cheaper. And it has my name and a heart on it. So if you want to save money, and I would never believe I'd say this, go to the Starbucks on the Old Town Square, right across from the clock. Ooh, this hurts my honest in the honest guide name. But it's honest. Honza, since I love you, I'm gonna give you the more expensive coffee. There you go. So if I understand the concept of this place, it's like selling overpriced cold milk. Yeah, seriously, man. Like, I don't feel any coffee. Well, this wasn't really a sweet deal, but I'm about to show you a sweet deal. And before I show you the sweet deal, I'm gonna tell you about a sweet deal. While I'll do that, I'm gonna be backing up, hoping not to knock someone over. The sweet deal is called Surfshark. So sorry, man. I'm so sorry. I'm very sorry. Let's try it the other way. The sweet deal I'm about to tell you is Surfshark VPN, which is a partner of our video and also a service you're about to knock a baby over. Circles. Let me tell you about a sweet deal that is called Surfshark VPN. It's our partner, longtime partner, and what they provide as a service is that you can place your phone, your computer, your console virtually anywhere around the world. You pick a country, you place yourself there, the machine, and then you can access content that otherwise would be restricted. Just yesterday, my mom called me up and said, look, my friend is in Brussels and she's having some problems. I'm like, what are the problems? She cannot watch the TV. It's saying content restricted. And apparently you were promoting some service. I'm like, yep, we are Surfshark VPN. So I got in touch with the friend. I texted her a message. I said, what you need is Surfshark. And she was like, yes, that's what I need. How can I get it? Well, if you use the code HONESTGUIDE, you get 3 months for free. The link is below the video in the description. That's exactly what she did, and she sent me a little heart. Thanks, Yannick. Now I can watch the show in Brussels. So try Surfshark for yourself, and trust me, it will be a better deal than this coffee that I bought right here. And now, the next sweet spot. How long it's been expired for? Because it looks expired, right? Looks like shit. There, it's been taped over.
No.
The most expensive thing I ever bought in Prague is a croissant that's expired. I promised you something sweet, so here we go. I bought this croissant, this bad boy, for €5 in a mini market. I mean, it looks huge, right? But €5 is a lot. So then I found one of the most famous bakeries in Prague that makes awesome sweet stuff. And I entered this place, Oh Dear Bakery. And I bought this for €2.8. What? Wait, how is, yeah, that's the whole point of this video. I know, crazy, right? Do you want to hear a plot twist to the story? This is actually not a croissant. According to the label that's here, it is a bottle of water. Now, why would there be a sticker that says that this croissant is a bottle of water? The reason the sticker is there is to cover up the use by date, because this croissant has been expired for 3 months. Wait, so you're telling me that a mini market sells expired goods, covers it up with labels from water, and sells it for double the price than the most expensive bakery in Prague? Yep. I know, it's a brutal world we live in, man. I'm also very excited to open that croissant to see what it looks like. If the poop emoji came to life, it would look like this. So which one would you try first? The one that is actually a bottle of water and a real life poop emoji? Or the cheap one? Let's go with the expensive one. Wait, is he actually eating the 3 months expired croissant? Of course. I'm gonna do everything for you viewers. Hey, but to be fair, I eat these croissants from time to time. You can't really tell it's expired because it probably survives everything. All right, that was shit. Bro. Now, if you're expecting me to say like, which is better and which is worse, keep in mind, we're sampling 3 months expired croissant for €5 from a mini market that's been wrapped in that package for maybe years, versus a freshly baked croissant in one of the nicest bakeries in Prague. I don't think there's a need for me to say that this is awesome. It's also full of chocolate. So what's the result? What do you think is the result? Usually you associate budget traveling with hostels, and there's a hostel right next to this mini market. And I was a witness to a scene where a couple guys just arrived to Prague with their suitcases, and one guy said, hey, let's buy a beer in the mini market before we hit the town. So he walked in, he grabbed a beer, he walked outside, and then he did the conversion. He was like, wait, I paid 150 crowns? What is that in pounds? And after he realized how much it is, he also realized he just bought one of the most expensive beers in his life. And that's exactly how these places work. They seem like a local market where locals buy groceries. No, they're not. They're only here as traps for tourists that don't know what our currency is worth, that don't know how much things cost. This was the first encounter for the tourist with prices in our country. Now, when you actually use your phone and look for groceries around you on Google Maps, you'll find a lot of these mini markets, and you'll also find out that almost all of them are 1-star rated. So do the research before you walk into such a place. Now, there are many legit mini markets and supermarkets around, so use your Google Maps, look for the prices, and know how much you should pay. So now you know that if you want to travel on a budget, skip these mini markets in Prague and rather find a good restaurant. We have many on our channel, The Honest Guide, not only restaurants, but many other places and tips for your travels. So you can subscribe, you can like this video if it helped you, and you can comment below. And then at the end, I always teach a Czech word. This time I will teach you how to say luxury in Czech, and that is luxusní. Luxusní is luxurious, and luxus is luxury, luxus.